Hi everyone, welcome to Caking at Midnight. Tonight I want to work with our silicone molds and show you a little tip on how to get them to dry a little bit faster. So let's roll that intro. Okay, so I know on a couple of cakes we have done the whole cake and then you see the cake at the end and there might be something that has been sticking up straight and it's a piece of fondant and you're like, how do we get from there to there? So I have a silicone mermaid tail that I want to use this evening to show you how to get this to stand up on your cake later. Because if this is just regular fondant, this little eye's gonna go, it's gonna be a sad day. So don't be like me and procrastinate. You have to do these things and give yourself enough time. Don't end up like me freaking out the next day because they don't stand up. So I have our mermaid tail. I have some leftover scrap fondant that's just gonna be the color of his tail tonight. And I have some tylose powder from Wilton and just your regular run-of-the-mill cornstarch. So take your fondant. With this, it's all kind of a guessing game. So just start to get your fondant rolled together, loosen it up a little bit. With the tylose, you only need a pinch. And once you start to work with it a little bit more, you'll understand how much you need. And even when you start working with it, you'll be like, oh, it's really starting to dry up fast. There's two different products you can use with this. I always use Satin Ice. I know I've told you guys that before. Fondant and gum paste. Gum paste dries harder than fondant, but both will do the same thing. The tylose powder just makes it harden faster so you can get your molds to stand up straighter faster. But so I have, as you can see, fits in my hand. You see that? Not much. So literally I have had this tylose powder for a long time and just a pinch. It's probably more than I need, but that's what we've got. It's just a dry, it's a little more grainy than cornstarch. But just get that mixed in there. You'll know if it's not mixed in there because you'll come up with a dry spot on your fondant. So take a minute and roll that together. Now when I work with my molds, I always like to have a wax round or a cake drum or something. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It's just what I prefer to work with, so I always have it. And as you know, my pan with flour is my favorite thing to use with my fondant. So I just put a little bit on there just so we'll have some type of release when you want to pull this off of there, so it's not stuck to there. As far as your silicone mold goes, depending on how many cracks and creases and crevices you have in there, you want to make sure you get cornstarch in all of those areas. So it doesn't take a lot, just shake some in there, move them around. All right, clearly coated. Tap the excess off in the sink, you're good to go. It's gonna be real powdery, real messy, but that's okay. So with your fondant then, like I said, you can use gum paste as well. It's the same thing. So with your mold, you just want to go ahead and start pushing everything in there to make sure it's completely in there, to make sure you get every detail on that silicone mold. Now with the mermaid tail, you know there's quite a bit of detail. I have a flat but a wide blade X-Acto knife, and I just take that and cut the back off of that if you have it extra. Once you are sure that everything's in there, push down, take your time, and just take that silicone mold and slowly start to peel him out. Okay, so you have your 3 mermaid tails. If you want them to dry a certain way, so one's going this way, one's straight up, like that, you want to make sure they're positioned where you want them before you set them to dry. Now, we have tylose in there, which is going to help and it will dry, but They've never dried fast enough for me that way, even with the tylose in there. And like I said, I procrastinate. So my tip for this one, to have it dry, and it will dry overnight, you stick them in your oven with a light on. Close the door, do not turn the heat on. By morning, they'll be completely dry and they'll be able to stand up straight, just like your mold, or however you have positioned them. So we're gonna stick these in the oven with the light on overnight, and I'll see you back tomorrow and show you that they're all stiff, ready to go for your cake. As always, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. It's at caking_at_midnight. And if you did like the video this evening, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. As always, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. I hope you liked the video this evening. This is Caking at Midnight, and happy caking.